Hello! Today we're going to practice using Onshape to remove material. I've created just a basic cube right here, so I wanted to show you how if you draw a sketch, for example, on the top surface, that you'll be able to remove material from that surface. And you do so by clicking the extrude button and selecting the part that you want to remove. And you can see that it automatically goes to add part. But if you click remove instead, let me rotate this a little bit so you can see. You can see that instead of adding material, that it's created a hole. You can change the depth to make it just like a little indentation rather than an actual hole if you would so choose. But that's how you remove material. I also wanted to show you or remind you how to use the use button. So if we go back to this sketch we made of the circle, I wanted to point your attention to this use button right here. So this use button is going to create references to previous parts of the drawing so that you can use them to make measurements, etc. So for example, if I were to click this top surface right here, you can see that it has created a very dark black box. And that's letting me know that I can use this line here as a reference for my new circle. So with that, I can now add, for example, a distance from here to here that I couldn't before. Oops, it can't do that. That's the wrong distance. The distance from here to here, maybe, that I couldn't before. Because I'm using this use button right here that allows me to reference these edges. So today, I'm going to press undo so we have a clear screen. We can go back to the beginning. Today we're going to practice removing material to create a part that looks like this. When we're drawing this part, it's important to first think about which surface you want to draw first. For example, if I were drawing the front first, I would be drawing kind of like a tall, skinny rectangle, and it would look kind of like a skyscraper. If I was drawing from the top, I would be drawing a long, thin rectangle. If I was drawing from the side, I would be drawing this shape right here. So it's the same as if I was drawing my mouse. If I was drawing my mouse from the top, I would be drawing this shape. But if I was drawing it from the side, I would be drawing this shape, which is completely different. So it's important to think about your object in terms of which side you're going to draw it from before you start. I think it's easiest to draw this object from the side. So I am going to click the side view right here and start a sketch on the side view. So in order to view it straight on, I'm going to click the right side of my cube, and I'm going to start drawing this shape. I'm rolling out my mouse right now to zoom out because this is quite a large object. I'm going to start kind of down here in the bottom left corner, and I'm going to go to the right. So it says this first line is 108 long, which is huge. So as I draw it, you can see I'm going to click at the origin, and I'm going to move over to the right. It's not going to get anywhere near 108. So I'm just going to click at a random length and type in 108, and it'll extend outwards. To get my computer to zoom so I can see it all, I'm going to double click the center mouse wheel. Alright. So my next step, I'm going to press escape to exit the line tool. And I'm going to check the next length I have to draw, which is a height right here of 64. Notice that that 64, however, goes to the very top. So if I'm trying to draw just to this edge right here, that isn't 64. That's 64 minus 8. What's 64 minus 8? 56? 56. So I'm going to start at this bottom corner and I'm going to go up 56. I'm just going to type in 56, enter. You can see that's also way too big. So I'm going to roll my mouse out so I can see it, and I'm going to press and hold my center scroll wheel so I can pan, and scooch the drawing over so I can see it better. Alright, now I'm at this point. So let's see what I have to do next. I'm right here. So I have to go over 12, up 8. Over 12, up 8. Alright, so now I'm at this point. I'm right here. So it looks like I have to go over 24, down 8, over 12. Alright. I'll click at this endpoint, over 24, down 8, over 12. Perfect. So now I need to draw the rest of this shape. I'm at this point, but I don't know how far downwards this goes. I can do some mental math though. I remember that this height here was 56, and that this spot right here is at 32. So what's 56 minus 32? I think that's 24. Let's hope it's 24. Cool. Now I'm going to go over to the end. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to like hover over this point and then draw straight up so you can see it's coming across straight. And then I'm going to go down. Hopefully this is 32. Please be 32. Oh yeah, good work. So as I create this closed shape, you can see it now turns gray. That means that it is a closed shape that can be turned into a solid feature. If it were not gray, you could not make it into a solid. Check. Alright, I'm going to view it at an angle so I can see what I'm doing. And from this picture, I see that I should make it a thickness of 48. So I'm going to click the extrude button, and I'm going to make it a thickness of 48. Enter. Cool. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove material for this box opening, and then after that I will remove material for this shape right here. I'm going to start by removing material for this box opening. It says that it is 48 by 24, and it's 24 deep. So in order to create this box, I want to draw on the top surface because I want to be like looking down on this shape while I draw it. So I'm going to click Sketch, and I'm going to create my sketch on this top surface here. And I'm going to draw a rectangle. Right here, this corner rectangle, and I want to make sure, see how these are highlighting? As I draw, that means I can use them. So this is kind of like an automatic use button. I'm going to click this corner, and I'm going to draw a shape, and I want it to be 48, well, this part's 24, this part is 48. Okay. And I want to make sure that it's lined up and centered in this object. So I'm going to click Use, and I'm going to click Use on this surface. You can see that these edges are now a dark black, and that means that I can measure things in relation to there. And I want to make sure that this object is centered. How long is this line? This line is 48. And this side right here is 24. So that means in order to center this in the box, you'll notice that these two dimensions are gray. That's because we can't change them. They're just giving us information. Alright, so if this side is 48 and this is 24, that means in order to center it, the distance from here to here needs to be 12. Perfect. Now you can see it is perfectly centered. Check. So the next thing I want to do is extrude this box inwards to create a hole. So I'm going to select this box, click extrude. You can see it automatically tells me to add material, but I don't want to add material, I want to remove. So I'm going to click remove, and you can see it's already pushing a little downwards into the object. And based off our drawing, we know that we want this to be 24 deep. So I'm going to type in 24. And you can see it's created an indentation, but has not gone all the way through the object. this last hole is going to go all the way through. So this last hole I think would be easiest to draw on this surface. So we're going to want to draw on the right surface. I'm going to start a sketch on the right hand side, and I want to view it from the right so I can see it straight on. I'm going to draw just a random rectangle in here. I want to be careful that I'm not referencing any specific spots like this spot or this spot. I want it to just be a random rectangle. And this random rectangle should have dimensions of 24 wide and 16 tall. So I'm going to type in here 24 wide, 16 tall. Alright, and we want this also to be centered. So in order to reference the edges, in order to center it, I'm going to click the Use button, and I'm going to click this whole shape. And you can see the whole shape is now dark black, which means I can use it as a reference. So it seems as though the distance from the edge to the side of the hole is 12. So I'm going to add a dimension. The distance from the edge to the side of the hole is 12. Alright, you'll see that these lines have now turned black. That means that this box is locked in space in the left to right direction, but it is not locked in space in the up and down direction. You can see if I grab it and hold my mouse, I can still wiggle it. So the last dimension I need to add is its distance up and down in relation to something else. You can see that the distance from this top surface to the top of the hole is 8. So I'm going to add a dimension from this top surface to the top of the hole is 8. If you look, you can now see that all of these lines are black. That means it's been completely constrained and I can't wiggle it anymore. I'm going to press the checkbox to finish my sketch and view it at an angle so I can make sure I'm doing this extrusion correctly. And click my extrude button right here. I'm going to grab just this little spot. You can see once again it's trying to add material, but we want to remove material. And we want to go all the way through. So I'm going to drag the end all the way through. And if you look at it, you can see, wrong way, that it's making a hole and there's like daylight on the other side. Perfect. There we go. We have created 2 openings. I'm going to straighten it out a little bit so I can take a screenshot. Your guys' next task is to take a screenshot of your picture and turn it in. Good work.